Well, this could turn out to be a huge nothing burger, but it's possible that we've invented a room temperature superconductor. On July 22nd, two preprints were submitted to archive.org, and the first one was submitted with three authors. The second one, almost immediately after, had the first two authors from the first paper and several additional authors, one of whom has a lot of credits to his name. And in the papers, they claimed to have synthesized a material that shows superconductivity at room temperature and under ambient pressure. Well, labs everywhere are currently trying to replicate this as we speak, but the question is, will they succeed? Now, we have had superconductors before, but in order to operate them, they either need to be super, super cold or under immense amounts of pressure, both of which are really expensive to do. So a room temperature superconductor at ambient pressure would change everything. But do people think that this is actually going to replicate? Maybe not. The markets have been all over the place today, the prediction markets, that is. At one point at 30%, down to as little as 12%. And right now it's kind of fluctuating between 12 and 15 and could go even lower. It's important to note that this has no bearing on whether or not it's true. It's just a barometer for what people think, whether or not it will replicate. But what is a superconductor anyway? Well, in a normal conductor, the electrons that pass through the channels of the conductor tend to bounce around all over the place. And this causes a lot of friction, which results in energy loss that dissipates away in the form of heat. But a superconductor would allow the electrons to pass through freely without all of the friction, and as a result, with none of the loss of electricity. Now, the US currently loses like billions of dollars a year in lost or dissipated energy just from transmitting the energy to homes across the US. So, if we had a material that superconducted at room temperature or a bit above, really, is what you want, and they claim that this one is effective up until boiling water temperatures, and it was not grossly expensive to make or require really rare materials, and also was not brittle and could be effectively shielded from the magnetic force that's generated. And all of these things would potentially be true in this case if it can be replicated. Well, the first immediate impact of this would be on the power grid for the United States. We would get almost twice the amount of energy that we currently generate because we wouldn't be losing it all in transmission. And this would be huge for renewable energy, like we could put solar arrays or nuclear power generators way out where they'd be most effective and away from where people live, and we could transmit all of that energy back to the power grid without losing any of it. And batteries would be revolutionized as well. We could have rapid charging because of that free flow of electrons, which is huge for electric vehicles. Or rapid discharging, which will allow us to power things like lasers or rail guns. And it'd be huge for storage. We'd be able to store all of that energy with virtually no loss. And the list goes on. This would be amazing if it replicates.